The matters concerning the second demon prison had come to a close for the time being. However, the return of Xiao Yin and the others would still require a considerable amount of time. After all, the tribulations they had to face were no simple matter. While they were in seclusion at the second demon prison, strange events began to unfold in the outside world. In the Great Thousand Worlds, within a peculiar place in the human realm, there existed the Heavenly Spirit Pool. This was a tranquil area, home to a spiritual vein known as the Heavenly Spirit Mountain Range, which was inhabited by a powerful force called the Heavenly Spirit Sect. This sect, with its ancient origins dating back to the distant past, had a deep history and vast foundations. Its leader was a terrifying figure at the peak of the seventh reincarnation stage, a person of immense prestige within the human realm. At this moment, within the core heavenly pool of the sect, an elderly man dressed in a white robe sat. His face was aged, yet his demeanor was full of vitality. A faint smile constantly hung on his face, radiating an aura of boundless mystery. This elderly man was none other than the current leader of the Heavenly Spirit Sect, the Heavenly Spirit Ancestor. During the First Heavenly Earth War, the Heavenly Spirit Sect had been one of the most amicable forces toward the Xiao clan. Ancestor? Suddenly, a figure appeared at the edge of the heavenly pool. This person's expression was grave, and his words were heavy, indicating that something of great importance had occurred. How is the investigation progressing? The Heavenly Spirit Ancestor asked, his tone urgent. Great power certainly brings many advantages, but certain rules also apply to them. Rules established by the center of the human realm and the angel kingdom. Those who surpass the fifth reincarnation stage are largely prohibited from directly interfering in the changing landscape of the Great Thousand Worlds. Xiao Yin attended the meeting for discussions, but among the representatives of our forces, some infiltrated factions with hidden agendas. They attempted to use this opportunity to draw Xiao Yin into the Hell Realm, aiming to suppress him. The Son of Heaven, with the ancient heavenly palace at the forefront, is attempting to completely eradicate him to prevent the revival of the Xiao clan. The guard, with a solemn face, carefully relayed the information he had gathered. What? Upon hearing this, a surge of invisible fury suddenly erupted from the usually calm face of the Heavenly Spirit Ancestor. They had refrained from joining the Endless Flame Alliance due to the fearsome hidden factions and their desire to protect the countless bloodlines within their own force. The initial meeting had been a precaution, and if these troubling matters were resolved, they would join without hesitation. But the Heavenly Spirit Ancestor also knew that if the last descendant of the Xiao clan were to fall into danger, their allies of the past would not sleep in peace. Without the Xiao clan, much of the authority in the Great Thousand Worlds would fall into the hands of the center of the human realm. That was a situation none of them wished to see. However, Domain Lord Xiao has demonstrated immense power, even eliminating the Son of Heaven. Even the officials in the Hell Realm have perished under his hands. The guard continued, explaining the full extent of the events. The descendants of the Xiao clan truly live up to their reputation. The Heavenly Spirit Ancestor's eyes flickered with contemplation, seemingly lost in thought. Ancestor, what should we do now? The guard pressed, clearly sensing the hidden forces growing restless. If no decision was made soon, disaster would likely strike. After all, the united strength of their former allies was enough to shake the center of the human realm. Organize the sect. In a few days, I, as the sect master, will personally head to the Boundless Fire domain to join the Flame Alliance. After a brief pause, the Heavenly Spirit Ancestor spoke lazily, as though making a momentous decision. The mystery of the Xiao clan's fall remained unresolved, and if they rashly joined the Endless Flame Alliance, they would be going against the entire Great Thousand Worlds. But Xiao Yin had already grown strong. Given the situation in the Hell Realm, if they didn't join now, they might never have another chance. If they won, all would be well, but if they lost, they could be obliterated, trapped in an endless cycle of calamities. But Ancestor, aren't you worried that those hidden forces will secretly interfere? The guard, a prominent figure in the sect, questioned. Such hesitation is the way of the weak. This decision is final. Prepare for it. The Heavenly Spirit Ancestor smiled mysteriously, fully aware of the kind of fighting spirit and bloodline the Xiao clan possessed. Understood. Though the guard was confused, he could only nod in obedience. Just as they finished their conversation and were about to move on with their plans to reorganize the sect, uninvited guests appeared in the world. What's going on? Suddenly, the entire heavenly pool trembled violently. In the sky, rings of gray, thunderous energy began to rise, pulsing with a destructive force so potent that even the heavenly spirit ancestor felt a twinge of unease. Thunder power? No, that's not it. The heavenly spirit ancestor narrowed his eyes as an unusual aura of death slowly spread across his chest. The sky flashed with thunder as the very heavens seemed to be cut off from the outside world by the force of the lightning. Thousands of bolts roared in unison, and amidst the thunder, a figure appeared, faintly visible, exuding supreme power beyond this realm. That is, the leader of the heavenly spirit sect looked up, his eyes widening in shock as he recognized the seductive, graceful figure hidden within the lightning. She danced through the thunder, her figure like a mesmerizing work of art, her unmatched movements sending ripples through the very air. The surrounding gray thunder intensified, heralding an imminent descent. Though she was far off, the immense power of the heavenly spirit ancestor allowed him to catch a glimpse of her true form. The new realm lord of the center of the ghost realm, Thunder Lord? In an instant, the heavenly spirit ancestor exclaimed, locking in on the true identity of the woman. But why was she here? Wasn't Thunderlord also a member of the Endless Flame Alliance? Fall. Even though her identity had been revealed, the figure showed no sign of surprise. A dangerous smile curled on her noble, elegant face. In the next moment, the surrounding gray thunder contracted rapidly, condensing into a pale, heart-like bolt of lightning. Without hesitation, it silently fell toward the heavenly pool. No. Witnessing the devastating attack, the heavenly spirit ancestor snorted coldly and exploded with his full power. Yet, even with the pinnacle strength of his seventh reincarnation stage, the self-detonation was utterly powerless to stop the spread of the thunder, and the aura of destruction quickly engulfed the entire heavenly spirit pool. In the blink of an eye, the vast heavenly spirit sect was reduced to nothing. Having completed her task, the figure high above in the sky revealed a wicked smile before taking out an ancient scroll tinged with yellow. The scroll was inscribed with several names, corresponding to some of the peak forces in the Great Thousand Worlds. At the top was the immortal sacred graveyard, followed by the ancient heavenly palace, Endless Flame Alliance headquarters, Boundless Fire Domain, Heavenly Dragon, Earth Phoenix. Be careful not to step on these flowers. At that moment, the Boundless Fire Domain still retained its former splendor. Muingying had left with Xiao Yin, while Xun'er and Kailin were busy with gathering intelligence on the Reincarnation Sea and the Dragon Clan. Yun, on the other hand, was handling matters in the domain. After dealing with numerous tasks, Yun came alone to the back courtyard. She slowly began to circulate her inner power, seemingly probing the so-called flower god seal. In the back courtyard, there was a vast sea of flowers stretching for hundreds of meters, cultivated with the power of the flower god, and it had become Yun's quiet refuge, fitting her tranquil nature. Not enough. The heavenly dragon and earth phoenix, the little ones, were running around, their laughter as carefree as that of children. After a while, Yun slowly opened her eyes and sighed softly. It seemed that with her current power at the 6th reincarnation stage, she was unable to touch the flower god seal or uncover the divine path hidden within. But Yun was certain that this flower god seal was the key to the inheritance of the flower god's divine abode. Yet, she had no way to reach it. It was shrouded in mystery. Master, there is urgent news. At that moment, the space in the flower sea rippled slightly, and a sharp-eyed figure emerged. The Shadow Walker. This was a secret force, created by the 4 matriarchs after the great calamity of the Boundless Fire Domain. Their numbers were few, no more than a dozen. Most were at the reincarnation stage, but they were loyal, trained in stealth and infiltration techniques, always gathering precious intelligence for the domain. Speak. Yun waved her jade hand, cloaking the two figures in a veil of secrecy. Such matters could not be known to outsiders. One of the forces wavering on whether to join the Endless Flame Alliance, the Heavenly Spirit sect, has disappeared. The shadowy figure whispered, clearly reporting high-level confidential information. So confidential that even the space intelligence brokers likely considered it top secret. Disappeared? Erased? Have the masterminds behind the Xiao clan's enemies finally moved? Yun stood, her calm and serene eyes suddenly filled with caution. The Xiao clan had countless former allies, but as the clan's power dwindled, many had distanced themselves. The sect leader's peak strength at the 7th reincarnation stage could effortlessly wipe out an entire force with such ease. If that's the case, the mastermind behind it must be at least at the 8th reincarnation stage, or even stronger. No, mistress. Based on our investigation, the void there has long since shattered, collapsing into a wasteland. We only found a trace of this power from there. As he spoke, the attendant took out a stone box from beneath his black robe. This is... Yun reached out and took the stone box. She opened it quietly, revealing a faint gray arc of lightning resting inside. Even though the lightning arc had no attacking power at the moment, it exuded a strong, familiar aura. Thunder Lord's thunder power? Impossible. Wasn't Thunder Lord and his disciples in seclusion in the ghost realm? A wave of unease slowly crept into Yun's heart. At present, the power of the Endless Flame Alliance could only barely rank among the peak forces in the Great Thousand Worlds, and it was almost in the middle of the rankings. If it were discovered now that the destruction of the Heavenly Spirit sect was connected to the Endless Flame Alliance, the masterminds behind this would probably use it as a pretext to strike decisively at the Endless Flame Alliance. Currently, the Endless Flame Alliance still hadn't rescued many of the elders in the Reincarnation Sea, nor had the issues with the Dragon Clan and the Netherworld realm been dealt with. If a strike came now, it would likely be a catastrophic disaster. I understand. Remember, don't mention this to anyone else except me. A moment later, Yun clenched her jade hand tightly, extinguishing the lightning arc. But in her mind, a sense of unease still lingered. She knew this situation was false, but her heart remained anxious. All the masterminds needed was a reasonable excuse. Yes. Understood. I take my leave. The Shadow Walker slowly departed, and the area returned to calm. Just a little more, then it will succeed. Please, don't let anything go wrong now. Yun gazed at the sea of flowers, silently praying. In the second demon prison, the boundless divine power scattered across the void. At this moment, two graceful figures appeared out of nowhere. Mu Yingying and Yao Ji. Senior, thank you. As she spoke, Mu Yingying actually bowed, performing a grand gesture of respect. Thanks to the enhancement of the divine artifact and the power of the reincarnation seal, her level had soared to the 6th reincarnation stage. Looking at Yao Ji, she suddenly realized how much the latter had changed, both in expression and posture. It was like she had transformed completely. Her slender, graceful figure, with her exotic purple hair cascading down like the Milky Way, was striking. The purple gown she wore was etched with exquisite patterns, which glimmered subtly. An unprecedented divine aura emanated from her, making her appear overwhelmingly powerful. Mu Yingying's beauty was already stunning, but in the presence of Yao Ji, she felt a little outshone. The sacred zither has fused with your body. You can control it at will, but remember, you must practice more. With your power combined, it can unleash formidable might. This combat technique is of no use to me anymore. Consider it a gift. As she spoke, Yao Ji blinked her long lashes, and a scroll glowing with purple light floated into Mu Yingying's hands. Thank you. People call me the Holy Mother. If you don't mind, from now on, you may call me Mother. Yao. Mother. Mu Yingying, unguarded and like a child, threw herself into Yao Ji's arms. Yao Ji smiled softly. This girl's background and experiences were so similar to her own. What she did was just a personal wish, as she had no children with the Holy King during their time together. Boom. At that moment, the void in the demon prison trembled. Thunder rumbled, shaking the heavens and earth. two vast auras slowly began to awaken. Did the seclusion succeed? 8th reincarnation stage, 6th reincarnation stage. Not bad. Now, awaken those powerful beings who are sleeping in the reincarnation sea, and we'll have the strength to confront the center of the human realm and save the Xiao clan. Looking at the two figures before her, Yao Ji smiled softly. Let's go. It's time to return. This world seems to be filled with many changes. Of course, there are also important matters waiting for us. Don't worry, now that I've emerged from seclusion, those masterminds will soon pay a heavy price. The group laughed heartily and left the second demon prison. After transmitting some messages to the Fire Sprite clan, they headed directly toward the boundless fire domain. Clearly, the next actions needed to be sped up. In a dark world within the human realm, a figure bathed in firelight suddenly opened its eyes. Within those eyes, an ancient and obscure fluctuation seemed to stir. Moments later, a heart-wrenching roar echoed through the skies. Yao Ji, she's not dead? The prosperous boundless fire domain has attracted many creatures from the great thousand worlds who seek to join, as it is one of the few safe places remaining amidst the current catastrophe. The native inhabitants of the boundless fire domain, on the other hand, regard Xiao Yin as their spiritual leader. They have built statues of him on their respective continents, worshipping him with reverence. If you wish to pay respects to Lord Xiao, go to the Flame Wheel Hall ahead. The area behind is forbidden. No outsiders are allowed inside. An elder, appearing ordinary yet somehow unsettling, scolded as he watched a few suspicious individuals hurry in and out of the main hall. This elder might seem unremarkable, but there was something strange about him that made one uneasy. My apologies, elder. It's just that Lord Zhao's divine might is so immense that I couldn't help but want to learn more about his life and deeds, the thin, dry-faced man said, turning towards the elder with a grin while admiring the statue of Xiao Yin in the hall. By the way, elder, do you have any more accounts of Lord Zhao's feats? I'd love to learn more, the man continued. Let's go. This is a forbidden area, not for ordinary people. As for books on Lord Zhao's deeds, they can all be found in the Endless Library. I'll take you there, the elder replied. Thank you, the man said, slightly revealing a bright mirror from his arms, which seemed to be absorbing some kind of power, though it was only partially filled. As they walked, subtle, ill-intentioned thoughts flickered in their minds. It seemed these two individuals were no ordinary characters, and their strength was not to be underestimated. At the headquarters of the Boundless Fire Domain, the atmosphere in the Mistress Hall was serious. For mistresses, Xiao Yin and Yao Ji's master-disciple duo gathered, totaling 7 people. After the demon-suppressing prison event, Yao Ji's return to the world had not caused much stir among the stronger beings, as they still had to be wary of the mysterious individual. No worries, Yao Ji said, her eyes filled with surprise as she gazed at the 4 women, each of whom possessed an unparalleled grace. This Xiao Yin seemed not only gifted with exceptional strength, but also had a more robust and alluring personality than other members of the Xiao clan. Now that the elder has emerged, what are your plans next? One of the 4 women, Kailin, asked, her concern evident. First, a brief adjustment. Then, I'll head to the reincarnation sea to awaken the ancient powerhouses who have been asleep for ages. Only then will the Boundless Flame Alliance have the strength to intervene in the peak conflicts of the Great Thousand Worlds. After that, it's likely to be the Dragon Clan or the Netherworld, Yao Ji said, her expression slightly tense. Clearly, recovering to the peak strength of the quasi-9th reincarnation stage would not be an easy feat. By the way, Elder, how do we proceed with the second phase of the God-slaying ruler's restoration? Xiao Yin asked, nodding silently. The plan Yao Ji mentioned was, of course, the best course of action they had discussed. Yet, Xiao Yin still had concerns regarding the God-slaying ruler, and he knew that with Yao Ji's special status, she might know of some feasible methods. The restoration of the God-slaying ruler. I once heard the Holy King mention it. The prerequisite for restoration is that only a true 9th reincarnation stage powerhouse can carry it out, Yao Ji recalled and stated solemnly. Looks like I'll need to find the Flame God's Cauldron first, Xiao Yin muttered after a brief pause. In the entire Great Thousand Worlds, Only the angel kingdom and the center of the human realm possessed true ninth reincarnation stage powerhouses. The boundless fire domain's position was at odds with them, meaning the restoration of the god-slaying ruler would likely be postponed for now. The flame god's cauldron? For you, that's a decent source of power, Yao Ji remarked with a smile, as if she knew something about it. Go ahead. There are still some hidden matters waiting for you. All right, we'll handle things here. When you return, we can set out for the reincarnation sea. One of the four women spoke softly, sensing Xiao Yan's confusion. Understood, Xiao Yan replied, his eyes flickering as he turned to leave. Only he knew where the flame god's cauldron was, and such a major matter was one he wouldn't let others accompany him on. Hee, master. Please stay here in the boundless fire domain. No one but us will know of your arrival, Little Yi said with a warm smile as Xiao Yan departed. As Xiao Yan left, the four women and Yao Ji's master-disciple pair slowly began discussing the current situation and the ever-quiet, lurking extraterritorial evil clans. Beyond, in the dim, deathly still land of the 10,000 Netherlands. Holy Lord! Our forces have gathered. A dark, oppressive aura filled the land, making one shiver in fear. Though the second heaven and earth war has already begun, our extraterritorial forces have been quietly gathering strength. It seems those in the center of the human realm have lost patience and initiated an attack on us. This time, we shall declare war once and for all. Second evil god, third evil god, heed my command. We are here. Advance to the palace of the Great Thousand, the Holy Lord ordered. The grand, mighty demonic sound echoed through the heavens and earth, filling the air with an overwhelming power that was almost unstoppable. The Holy Lord. The Earth Guardian in the first demon-suppressing prison is still being suppressed by the previous Angel Queen. The first demon-suppressing prison. We will go there eventually. The matter of the reincarnation sea is of great importance. We must first destroy the powerful beings residing within it. If we allow them to awaken again, our steps in ruling the great thousand worlds from beyond the realms will slow down significantly. Attack! The mighty demonic sound swept through the heavens and earth as the vast army, divided into dozens of teams, surged toward the great thousand worlds. With the movement of these dark figures, faint sounds began to emerge from some of the core regions of the extraterrestrial evil clan. Chief, the matter you asked me to investigate has shown some results. Speak. The Lord of the Human Realm Center seems to be collaborating with the Angel Kingdom on something. This guy has always been a lingering presence. Let's drop this matter for now. You should prepare to launch an attack on the Netherworld. Recently, there have been some unusual fluctuations coming from there. The powerful beings sleeping in the reincarnation sea are just the backbone of the great thousand worlds. But in the Netherworld, there are existences that could truly threaten our power from beyond. Do you understand? Chief, the bloodline of the Xiao clan still lingers in the Human Realm Center. The Lord of the Human Realm Center surely won't make a mistake. When he once tried to exterminate the Xiao clan, he must have already prepared thoroughly. Why the rush? I need more than luck. What I need is absolute certainty. I don't want a repeat of the first heavenly battle, do you understand? However, many of the strongest in the Holy Clan are starting to grow dissatisfied with your actions. If they are dissatisfied, kill them. The second heavenly battle is our last chance. Moreover, do not forget, no matter how fierce the grudge between the Human Realm Center and the Xiao clan, when facing our evil army, they will surely unite against us. Under a collapsed nest, no egg remains intact. Yes. In one of the regions of the human realm, beyond heaven, this place was regarded as a forbidden area by countless powerful beings. Even the strongest in the great thousand worlds barely knew its exact location. According to the ancient texts of the great thousand worlds, so far, no creature, whether it entered by chance or through careful planning, had ever left this place alive. Not even those whose strength reached the peak of this world. The final result was always death. This was an absolute land of doom, a place that struck fear into the hearts of countless powerful beings in the great thousand worlds, its danger seemingly surpassing even the first demon-suppressing prison. Xiao Yan, alone, with the help of Yao Ji's distant spatial technique, relied on the coordinates of beyond heaven within his body, suddenly rushed toward the space where the Flame God's Cauldron was located. The Flame God's Cauldron, revered in the Great Thousand Worlds as one of the 7 divine artifacts, was the only artifact acknowledged by all 7 realms. Its tremendous divine power and grand achievements were respected by countless beings. However, few knew the true origins of this divine cauldron or its creator. As Xiao Yin neared this realm, he felt a faint, almost imperceptible voice calling out from deep within him. It came from the depths of the flame mantra inside his body, seemingly guiding him on his path. Could there be some hidden connection between the Flame God's Cauldron and the flame mantra? In the dark passage, Xiao Yin moved rapidly, unable to contain the speculations in his mind as he headed toward his destination. When the endless darkness receded, the view before Xiao Yan's eyes suddenly brightened, revealing an extremely grim and deathly world. This world had been ravaged by flames, with pale traces of burning flames surrounding the area. Even just a glance made Xiao Yin feel dizzy and disoriented. What surprised Xiao Yin even more was that the entire scene of this deathly world revealed a primitive mountain range, a place that struck fear into his heart. The primitive mountain range had a strange, eerie white glow that made even the trees, which should have been lush, emanate a deadly aura. Xiao Yan's expression turned serious as his speed increased, moving like flowing clouds and water through the mountain range, searching for the location of the Flame God's Cauldron. Even though this place exuded dangerous energy, he had to find the location of the Flame God's Cauldron as quickly as possible. This was no place to linger. Xiao Yin knew that his knowledge of the Flame God's Cauldron was limited to its spatial coordinates. He had no idea where the actual artifact was located. The primitive mountain range was filled with unknown dangers. If he stayed here too long, even with his current strength, the danger would become severe. The area was surrounded by countless forest white trees, making it incredibly concealed. If it weren't for the sacred flame's connection to the Flame God's Cauldron, Xiao Yin would have easily become lost here, let alone find this strange zone. Reaching the corner and looking down, a faint, eerie light sent a chill deep into Xiao Yan's heart. Looking around, it seemed as though there was a dark and deep valley below. But after staring for a while, a flash of terror suddenly appeared in Xiao Yan's eyes, his expression turning bizarre. It seemed the call originating from the flame mantra was coming from the depths of this valley. Let's go and take a look. If it's not possible, we'll leave. After a brief hesitation, Xiao Yan's body was enveloped in rolling 9-colored flames, and an overwhelming aura of reincarnation surged around him. His body flickered and then fell into the deep valley below. This valley was extremely peculiar. Despite Xiao Yan's vast soul perception, he couldn't probe the secrets within. No matter what power Xiao Yan unleashed, it was all devoured by the valley. Xiao Yan descended slowly, and during his descent, he felt as though a strange force had swallowed him, plunging him into another bizarre area. The surrounding darkness was absolute. Even the 9-colored sacred flame released here was as faint as a firefly's glow, threatening to extinguish at any moment. As Xiao Yan pondered, a gust of eerie wind suddenly surged around him. At the same time, countless strange beasts materialized out of thin air. The aura they emanated was mysterious, and it made Xiao Yan's heart fill with dread in an instant. Rip! Countless giant beasts roared, their bloodthirsty and greedy eyes locking onto Xiao Yan as if they were staring at prey. Get away from me! Confusion filled Xiao Yan's heart as the pressure mounted. He could only grunt coldly, and the destructive power of the 8th reincarnation stage spread out, barely forcing the strange beasts back. Within that destructive power was the force of the sacred flame and immense soul power, as if it were the combined effect of both forces that repelled the beasts. Suppressing the confusion in his heart, Xiao Yan's body continued to slowly descend. A few minutes later, he reached the bottom of the valley. This place seemed like an absolute abyss that should not exist in the world. The ground at the valley's bottom was eerily white, and bones and remnants of corpses littered the area. The surrounding air was tainted with a vicious and sinister evil aura, making the whole space feel incredibly malevolent. Can't move? This is a space barrier? No, wait, it's not a simple space barrier. Before Xiao Yin, the transparent, colorless void of the valley's floor was separated by some kind of power beyond his comprehension, blocking his movement. Fire, come. Whoosh. He summoned flames and tossed them toward the colorless, transparent space barrier. The flames were instantly evaporated, vanishing into nothingness. With Xiao Yan's current power at the 8th reincarnation stage and the 9-colored sacred flame, such immense power could even contend with the peak of an 8th reincarnation stage powerhouse. Yet, here, in this valley, it was effortlessly obliterated by the mysterious space barrier. Anxiety and despair slowly crept into Xiao Yan's mind. A tremendous pressure suddenly spread from all directions, almost as if it were crushing and tearing Xiao Yan apart. This force was insurmountable. It seemed that Xiao Yan's strength could do nothing here, and he could only quietly wait for his demise. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Suddenly, the Imperial flame ring surged out, and just as it appeared, it immediately cut open a blood wound on Xiao Yan's arm. Blood dripped, drop by drop, into the dark, eerie world at the valley's bottom. The blood, along with the unique fluctuation, seemed to dissipate the severe unease Xiao Yan had been feeling. Imperial flame ring. This is something of the Holy King, isn't it? Suppressing the many questions in his heart, Xiao Yan didn't move. He turned his head and scanned his surroundings. His vision was blurry, and he could barely make out the numerous mysterious and malevolent shadows surging around the valley. Just minutes after the crisis seemed to have passed, a blood-colored beam of light suddenly trembled, as though it were under the pressure of something terrifying. What in the world is going on? A maze of mysteries made Xiao Yan's heart stir slightly. Is this truly the place where the flame god's cauldron is stored? Why are there so many defensive measures? And among the scattered bones around, there was even a faint, terrifying aura that made Xiao Yan's heart shudder. Such a powerful being fell here. Breaking this death trap purely by brute force would be impossible. The valley was fraught with danger. Even with Xiao Yan's strength now, it felt somewhat tricky. But there was an instinct deep within him, telling him that this place had been carefully arranged by someone. It felt as though something unknown was being protected here. One crisis after another. In such a perilous place, Xiao Yan dared not hold back in the slightest. After all, one misstep might not lead to his demise, but it could very well trap him here forever. With the faint glow of the sacred flame to guide him, Xiao Yan moved cautiously through the abyss, his emperor flame ring and the power of his blood slowly swirling around him, as if trying to block the approach of those strange, ominous energies. This is a formation? Before long, Xiao Yan vaguely saw a slightly raised rocky area ahead. Upon closer inspection, it seemed to be a formation. The area surrounding the formation was eerily silent, devoid of life. Yet within the confines of the formation, there was a dark, cave-like opening. From it, a burning, beckoning sensation constantly emanated. With this suspicion in mind, the various forces within Xiao Yan's body began to stir. As he moved closer to investigate, it became clear that the formation was triangular in shape, spanning several dozen meters. At the sharp points of the triangle, 3 mysterious discs seemed to materialize. The discs were empty, but with Xiao Yan's sharp senses, he could vaguely feel that the arrangement on these discs was strange, as if they were meant to hold something. Something that was probably the key to entering the cave. Rend. In the moment of Xiao Yan's hesitation, the dimly lit valley seemed to awaken some vicious beasts. A terrifying aura began to spread through the air, enough to shake Xiao Yan to his core. And judging by the traces of those shadows, there was more than one. Boom. Power of the sacred flame. Xiao clan bloodline. Flame mantra power. With a change in expression, as his internal powers shifted, Xiao Yan simultaneously shouted, and 3 forces within his body flashed to life, instantly filling the 3 discs. In an instant, a dazzling light erupted, illuminating the entire valley. At that moment, all the dangerous auras in the valley seemed to dissipate in the blink of an eye. Looking around, this wasn't a deadly place at all. The valley's layout was meticulous, almost like a mirror of the Xiao clan's ancestral hall. This valley. It vaguely resonated with the fluctuations of the Xiao clan's origins. The heavenly gate opens. At that instant, an ancient whisper, as if carrying the weight of countless years, echoed from the strange formation before Xiao. A flash of radiant light easily swallowed him, while the eerie creatures that had been lurking around the valley were eradicated the moment they tried to follow him into the cave, turning to ash. I have waited for you through 100 lifetimes. The descendant of the Xiao clan. As Xiao entered the cave, a deep, murky voice slowly dissipated into the valley. With its disappearance, all the residual forces in the valley vanished as well. It seemed that no matter how powerful one was, under this kind of force, the only result would be a tragic fall. The supernatural power in that voice was terrifying. Without the dimming power or the overwhelming sense of danger, the valley now appeared just like any ordinary mountain valley, with only one distinction. It was filled with countless corpses, including humans and traces of the Dragon Phoenix clan. A forbidden zone for life, full of dangers, yet brimming with opportunities that could make countless powerful beings envious. Unfortunately, they were not as fortunate as Xiao. What is this? Upon entering the cave, Xiao felt as though the world was spinning, and soon found himself in a pure white world. This world, like an illusion, was devoid of any traces of worldly energy. Looking around, a sense of ancient, imposing authority lingered in Xiao's mind, evoking respect. In this world, there was only one immense dark entity standing before him, blocking his path. This massive being cast a shadow over everything, and it seemed impossible to discern its true form through sight or perception. But Xiao could clearly sense a faint ancient energy emanating from its top, causing his emperor flame ring to hum with resonance. The subtle energy was like something that had finally found its long-lost master. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Although the emperor flame ring lacked a spirit at this moment, it seemed to act on its own, gently pushing Xiao's body forward, as if urging him to scale the skies and reach the very end. Go! Xiao froze for a moment upon seeing this, then licked his dry lips, his eyes burning with rare intensity. Flame mantra, flame god's cauldron, even the emperor flame ring, and the holy king. These four seem to have some profound connection. Void binding, no flying power can be used. Only walking is allowed? It seemed that in this strange world, one could only act according to the rules dictated by this strange aura. Crack! Without any hesitation, Xiao took a step forward, immediately beginning to climb along the edge of the massive object. His arms tightly gripped the enormous structure, his ankles firmly pushing against it, applying just enough force. Though his progress was slow, he was steadily inching toward the end. Despite his awkward appearance and slow speed, as his body pressed against the colossal structure, Xiao's 9-colored sacred flame, God-slaying ruler, and even the flame mantra mysteriously fell silent, as if their powers had been temporarily sealed off by this very object. Now, he could only rely on his own strength and the power of the dragon god transformation. After moving for a while, covering only a few dozen meters, a chilling sensation swept over Xiao. The icy touch made his heart shudder. It seemed that the true nature of this massive object was that of a bronze-iron artifact, and somehow, Xiao had the unsettling feeling that this thing seemed to be absorbing his internal power. Before Xiao could fully sense what was happening, a dark pattern suddenly began to flicker within the gap between his body and the colossal structure. The dark pattern had originally been dim and lifeless, but with Xiao's touch, it now seemed to flash with strange images. His body trembled, and suddenly, a green flame surged from within Xiao, separating from his body. It then transformed into a log, surrounded by the green flame, and directly merged with the dark pattern. Could it be, this is the flame god's cauldron?